this is great, isn't it? It's good to see you, brother, man. It really is. Yeah, it's good to see you, mate.
I mean, you know, when we do this, what I really fucking... Back that cinema Crotisa thing. I am a fucking romantic, man.
Well,
this
look
is,
at that, mate.
I mean,
look at, you know, you look at it, it's beautiful. These are the streets, you know. That's what I used to love about Zadar. When I first landed in Zadar, you're just like, wow, some of the discoveries are there, like that city. And the scars of the war and stuff, but some of the old buildings and that Venetian influence and that sort of...
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Because it was a port town, wasn't it? So it was like... From what I gather, I mean...
Was it Hemingway? Who said it's got one of the greatest sunsets in the world?
Yeah, it was Hemingway, wasn't it?
Was it Orwell? Not Orwell.
No, it was Hemingway, wasn't it? Anyway, I know what you mean, one of them didn't they? Yeah, that was the quote that was sort of...
Orson Welles. I think it was Orson Welles.
Was it? Okay, yeah.
We'll have to Google it later.
Yeah.
But there's...
I'll let you know later and you can put it in.
But there is just something so fucking romantic and beautiful about this.
Mate, yeah.
And I mean, back to that thing, you know, sobriety for me and all that is never the fucking badge. As I said to you earlier, the idea of playing a sober rave, I'm not against that. There's wonderful people do it. But I'm not into wearing the badge. But it just allows me to not be weeping, screaming falsetto a cappellas in a cupboard, crying because I've fucking done loads of... And you can walk out here and here's life.
Oh, no, I mean, look at that.
I mean...
And what you said about the stillness, it's beautiful when it's still, that place, isn't it?
And I remember back to Mr. Weatherall, Andrew, it was, I remember, to me, I don't know whether we said it together. I remember saying that when lots of obituaries came out, I was asked to do stuff and whatever. One of the things I said at the time was, one of the things I loved most about Acid House wasn't, okay, the music, of course, but it was being sat in Petriciana or Tony's when we first came to Tisno, sharing fish platters with the likes of Andrew, discussing fucking history. It was, that was the bit that was actually like fucking, wow, this isn't influencers or this is real fucking
this
people.
Is just real, romance conversation in the world, wasn't it? The rhythm of romance, mate. That's what I think the world's missing now, sadly.
We need, and it's, well,
you know,
culture.
Do you want to walk along the side there, mate?
I'm following you, you're the boss.
Well, no, I don't know, mate. This way we walk, but we'll go on the side of it, at least you get the...
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, mate, it's gorgeous, isn't it? That boat's nice, isn't it? That's beautiful, that it's said.
And yeah, again, that thing I said before, that one of the joys of sobriety was finishing a gig in Paris and waking up as the sun came up and knowing that you're not going to be fucked. And again, here, I've got up early, I've met you, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to be Gandhi Joe Wicks about it, but you think, fucking life is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, mate.
And you feel it.
That's the treasures of it, mate, yeah, absolutely. I've seen the videos of you, like, coming from a gig and that. You've done a few where you're sort of on your way home, ain't you? And
I
it's
love
like,
that bit. It's the best bit
man,
sometimes.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. And some of the cities lately, I mean, obviously, you know, it's like... And them are good lads in them. It's sort of Mickey Brown and the alley and that who were looking after you, didn't they? Them.
Well, there's, you know what I've noticed, and things are hard for clubs, all the challenges everyone faces financially, culturally, habits changing, youngsters not going out as much. But what I've discovered is there's loads of little crews who are still there doing their thing. I pay for manpower.
Jeff, yeah, he's a good kid.
In Newcastle, South.
That's great. I like what he does with that, mate. It's like a work. I always said to some of the lads years ago, I said, look, man, where the beer's cheap and that, some of these social clubs and that, just get one of them, man, and do it like...
But you know, when he first told me, I thought, yeah, wicked, respect, but I thought, will it be any... No, that sounds negative. It wasn't, I didn't mean it like that. But it wasn't until I got there. This place he's got up in North Shields is... First of all, it's like Studio 54. You couldn't have designed a better club. It's a big room, but not too big. It's got carpet, soaks up the sound. There's seating on either side. There's a dance floor. You put this gigantic sound system in. Added all the magic dust.
Yeah, brilliant.
There was a beautiful trans lass working behind the bar.
Yeah.
All proper fucking Geordies. The doorman, big old school fucking fags back.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. And so it's all that.
You go in there and it's like... And it was just fucking... hand on heart, it was as good as any club I've ever played at.
It looks
Probably
brilliant,
top 10 gigs. And I think...
Oh, excellent, mate.
Yeah, it was... People talk about plastic people, and that was as good.
Yeah,
genuinely.
I love Jeff, you know, he champions it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I had them as last waltz and that, like when they were really sort of just do it. I remember meeting Jeff over here, like when there was Lee and Foz and that. And, he's great, Jeff. He does it for all the right reasons. He's really passionate about the clubbing side of things, isn't he? He's playing in Bum next week, actually. There's a techno thing. I might get to that.
He's a fucking dude, and it was...
He's a great lad, Jeff, yeah.
You know, you come away, it's fucking wholesome. And it was so funny, because we left outside, and there were 200-300 people outside, all sat on the pavement. You finish at 1. It's great.
Oh, brilliant.
And now they said, come on, Luke, we're all these fucking Geordies, Mackhams, fucking whatever. People from Middlesbrough, Leeds, Scottish, and all travelled there. And they said, look at these fish.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What are they, do you think?
I don't know what type they are, like them.
Fucking beautiful.
There's a firm, look, you get a lot of the schools round here now, don't you? You get the...
Well, look.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they just said, right, Luke, hey. Right, we're going to the beach now, we're having a little rave on the beach. And I was like, this is fucking magical.
Yeah. You forget that it's coastal, don't you? I do anyway.
And there's a beautiful little restaurant there called Filey's or Riley's Fish Shack.
Yeah.
And it feels very like Carmen did over the way, you know.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a shack on the beach.
Yeah, right, okay, brilliant.
The food is fucking outrageous.
Yeah, seafood,
and it's not cheap, but it's not crazy expensive.
Yeah.
It's fucking fair price for what you get.
Yeah, amazing.
And it pisses on any of them top-end restaurants. I had this steamed cod, we had oysters, and it was stunning.
Oh, brilliant, mate,
so
look, that part of the world, the passionate bunch, isn't they? You know,
Co-op Studios. Yeah. But you know, Hare and Hounds, I think what I was sort of alluding to is that despite the challenges, and they're big, they're biblical challenges. This is like nothing we've seen before.
Yeah.
I think that you're seeing the rise of smaller clubs who are sort of doing their shit. I also think, Dean, this is really important. I've been reading loads on New York recently. Well, I say reading, I've been doing YouTube stuff on it, and I've read Lawrence's book on the history of the loft in New York. Yeah. What is really noticeable is that from 1970 to about 87, 88, it was probably post-war, I would say ever on the planet, the most creative time in modern music. So you had hip-hop, disco, house, post-punk, all happened in a 15-year era where the challenges were biblical. The police were breaking up queer parties. The city was on fire. It was in debt. There was poverty. The mainstream clubs weren't letting black people in. And what happened, and this is the important part, the reaction to it put the wind in the sails for this explosion of creativity. Basquiat, the artist, and what's he called, Herring, all came out of this era where people said, let's do it ourselves.
Let's that ethos,
The rent party, which is what the loft was, and the block party happened for the reasons where the rent party was borrowed from the 20s in Harlem, where the black community around jazz were having their own rent parties, which were free. And that got re-edited in the 70s, but the likes of Mancuso realised, well, let's do our own thing in my flat or this empty building, and put their thing on. The block party in the Bronx and all the rest of it happened because absentee landlords like Trump were throwing out people of colour, Hispanic, black people, and throwing them into the Bronx. And it spurred the block party, where people brought their own decks and everything, and disco, hip hop, all happened in the face of austerity and challenges.
From out of adversity and stuff becomes
cheap rent. You don't, an art and comes out of adversity. And whilst I fully understand the challenges we all face, and my God, they're biblical. I also believe this era will put the wind in the sails for change, because we don't know when it will happen, but it will, and it will be a time where it'll be like. No, I don't want 20,000 fucking people or whatever club it's called with Fisher coming down on the rope and
I know all of that. They'll be antique, that won't they? They'll be back to a, like you say, back to a communal sort of sense of purpose about it.
Back to the rent and block pie, which is what we call the free party scene. But I think that's the way it's going to go. It'll need to reset. And I think the wound is where the liberation is. You know, it's sometimes like in life, like telling you, you know, about losing my dad and fucking Martin and people we all share, friends that we've all joined and lost recently. Sometimes the wound, the fucking deep pain, is the transformative thing that brings you back to life, your own soul, because you think, what is the point of all this? And so sometimes the darkness does produce the light. And I think we, rather than moaning about the big clubs and the money people, listen, those cons will always do that. Let's do our own thing and lead from the front and show an example by getting on with it, because all these things can coexist. The Loft and Paradise Garage and all Cool Herb all happened at a background when they wouldn't let you into the big clubs. So you had to do your own thing.
They had to do,
I live in hope. I think we're in a period of attrition now where it's not one thing or the other. It's like trench warfare. We're not really going into this era. But I believe it's going to happen because capitalism has gone mental.
It's polluted it all, hasn't it? So it's great to think there's that underbelly of sort of, like you say, independence and emotion, doing it for all the right reasons, you know, that was...
But once the youngsters properly, I mean 15 to 18, 19-year-old, work out, hang on, the old Bill are so busy, they have no resources. We can actually go and put a party on just outside Walsall on that little farm. They're not going to stop it, they haven't got the resources. Then people, where all you need is a generator, a sound system, one of your biggest pals who can run your door but not be a cunt. You don't need fencing or stages, a little fucking, a little tent, and you're off.
You're off. Mate, I did a PI the other day at this thing, and talking about generators, have you seen the new ones? The batteries, like, fucking unbelievable. They ain't even a generator anymore. It's like, you know, like this battery that's charging this, like, it's basically a massive version of that. And they're just batteries. And they run
like... How long do you get out of it?
It's something like 4 days off these big packs and that. They don't even make a noise, and it comes with all the trolley. It's about £2,000, I think.
Oh my God!
We might add one and it wheels in as a compact unit. It's like an old, like the old record trolley bags and that.
Was I speaking to you last night about the cost of the tent? Who was I speaking to last night? It was you, the equivalent of you. Because I want to go on Tinternet, Facebook, where do you buy stuff now? Where's the best place to buy second-hand stuff now? Not vintage.
No.
But buy a big old army tent, right? For fuck all, if it's possible. Get a generator. Share a sound system with a few people, and I just think that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's going to go. Yeah, because there was hints of that. I think there was hints of that in lockdown. I think. Well, no, there was a bit of that going on.
No, we're seeing the seeds, the acorns, but there's not been it's not developed momentum and becomes a movement. And it will. And when it happens, I don't. But I'm always one of these people where the moment you said history's over, nothing's going to come through. The mainstream is so dominant and shit and fast and cringeworthy. Nothing will ever happen again. But before you know it, the young lot coming through will surprise you with their version of what we've done.
Absolutely. I think they'll discover romance again. I always metaphorically say it's like it sounds balmy, I suppose, but the metaphor I've always said is challenge it to a Victorian sideboard versus an IKEA flat pack, you know. At the moment it's IKEA flat pack and it's serving its function, but sooner or later they'll discover the workmanship and the romance of a proper IKEA cabinet, and they'll see the longevity in that. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's like the scene will be like that. At the moment it's got its functionality, they're discovering these festivals now, but sooner or later one of them will go, yeah, but listen, if we take our time and make the legs a bit ornate and that, you know what I mean? It's going to last years, you know what I mean? And it's that kind of thing, really.
You know, it reminds me of, like, I remember, God bless, he's still living, but still with us, but Keith Optimo, God bless him, saying, why don't get down about the rise of electronic dance music going out to millions, if not billions of young people. Okay, it's shit, the music, let's be honest, but you only have to have 1% of those people going, so there's Juan Atkins and Derek May and Carl Craig, and who are they and where
you know,
we get we focus so much on the negative rather than the potential opportunities out of difficulty, and that's what I think will happen. They will get into they'll fuck off the flat pack.
Yeah, yeah.
Billy no mate. What they called the fucking Billy Smart. What they called the fucking the shelves in IKEA. Billy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the Cala.
There's a word.
Cala,
Yeah, Billy.
you know.
Anyway, and
One of them unpronounceable fucking Swedish thing.
But and they'll discover the more ornate.
We'll make the the card
The
table
black
with the green
heart.
velvet, and they'll be like, oh, this is nice, you know.
And
Yeah, they will, mate.
and that's so it's like in life we are probably in the most brutal time in world
Yeah,
history.
it's a strange world, definitely.
And it's hard. Anxiety and fear leads to a very ruthless binary politics where it's black or white, but actually it's not. Things sometimes the very thing that fucking holds us back will be the thing that eventually puts the wind in the sails.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, fuck,
Oh, it's
mate.
lovely, mate. Yeah, beautiful.
We should have bought shorts, shouldn't we? The fucking deck.
The dip, yeah. The sea just. I mean, now I never used to go in loads, but a dip sort of sorted you out, really. Definitely.
You know, when I started.
I've never been this far down here. It's
Oh, it's
nice,
beautiful.
isn't
Oh,
it?
well,
Yeah.
go on here. And we can. No,
okay.
carry this way. Sorry.
No, whatever, mate. Go on.
Go this way.
You,
But when we were coming out of COVID and I'd given up the fucking all, the white goods and the booze.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found incredible was walking, and I know you're into this and have done it, but we'll have to go up one actually and go across.
Yeah, okay, mate. Oh, look, that's great. Isn't
No,
it?
look.
He's now, yeah. Nice.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Was walking, and two things happened. One of them was that I discovered this fucking nature, and cliched as it is, I don't know what it is, but when you are out there, you haven't got your phone, which we have now,
Yeah.
and you're in it, and you're smelling it, and you're part of it, something changes in you. It calms the soul. Your attention shifts from the fear or about the regret or the fear of the future, and suddenly you can smell it. It engulfs you. And then the second thing happened to me. Now, when I was younger, my dad was a hill walker. And he loved it. So when everyone was going to Benidorm, he'd take us to fucking Yorkshire. And fuck's sake, that's piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I used to. My dad was such a lovely human.
Yeah.
So a very liberal, warm, open character. And he would always morning. He was so enthusiastic, and we used to cringe as kids.
Fuck off,
Yeah.
You don't realise how actually wonderful he was in that regard.
In COVID, I was just went out walking. I was running actually, and this other kid comes the other way, and he's running. He was my age, and he looked at me, and it was really funny. So we were running, and he looked at me and just saw me running, a bit overweight, oh fucking man. And he looked at me, and there was this sort of wry acknowledgement of our vulnerability. It was just in that look, he was doing what I was doing, and their life in 3D. And I went, "Hiya, mate." And I thought, fucking hell, the very thing I cringed about was...
It's what you're doing, like...
And it's like we've become so atomised from each other because of social media and phones, where the dominant communication is by yourself, being radicalised by the algorithm of division.
Yeah.
And you go out and suddenly, I have my dogs as well at points, and they'll be like, morning. And the very thing I hated was the very thing that brought me back to life, which was meeting people in 3D.
Yeah.
And it was just this very, like I said to you, it's kind of just a very life, like leaving the clubs at 5 a.m. and you're not off, you're not, and you know it's going to be all right. It was very, there's a word, just comforting and made you happy. And I think people have lost that because we're always on the phones.
Yeah, they have lost it. Yeah, what was meant to bring the world together has sort of drifted them apart in many ways, hasn't it? Because it made you more introverted and insular. Yeah, I think that's what, once the kids rediscover, I always said the romance of the world has been lost a little bit. See, years ago, you wouldn't have had phones. Your colourful take on this town would have gone back to the youth, and you'd have told them with your own expressive way of telling them about this place. It wouldn't have been an internet, or it wouldn't have been social media, it wouldn't have been anything but your take on it. So you'd have captured like this walk, you'd have said, you'd have romanticised about it, and that's what the kids ain't got anymore, because now all they've got is an influencer telling them or their take on it.
Yeah.
So they haven't got that pace of an elder, the respect of an elder telling them a story in the commune of a pub or in somewhere else where they had their take on it, and it was that palette and that colour that needs to be recaptured. Because at the moment it's too instant, it's too quick, it's too, you know, that's what's missing, that pace in the world of romance, you know what I mean? The world's pace has gone, and I think once that comes back, however form it comes, you know, social media does its things, and this influencer thing, I just think that's, the kids are being influenced by it, and the quickness of TikTok and the quickness of capture, straight away capturing things. What started off in the music business from what used to be a time where great bands come from like being able to, the Beatles come from being able to explore for 3 albums and finding the odd thing, and those kind of bands. Whereas now, the labels have to already have a finished project, and it has to be quick and instant.
And people lose attention within 32 bars.
Because it has to be instant. Social media, you have to capture something. It's like that, like I said, that casual crusoe thing you started doing, all those things, you know. Them instants of nuggets of humour and everything else, you know what I mean? I ain't saying that was your long-term aim to get where you're going, but those things, the instant pockets of quick, it's like Jeff does all that as well. He captures it well in some of the things that you have to, that algorithm, how it captures and that. And this, what the kids are doing with all this TikTok and all this instant thing and this, the influencer thing. Once they then rediscover the pace of the actual world and that romance of it, it's going to come back to a beautiful time and a thing, you know. When you take the time to walk like this and capture this and get this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These chats, this is what I want. It has to be original, organic, but it's not to go, oh, let's create a big account for Instagram. It's to capture memories for me, even if I only watch it, you know. It's like just it has to be. I want to get that romance back, mate. I want to get that inspiration from elders and from stories with
storytelling.
Yeah.
And don't you think that the next punk won't necessarily, like Acid House, be necessarily about the music, but I'm hoping that it will be the new movement rejecting the aggro rhythm of this prescribed world of misinformation. Where, if you think about it, when I turn my phone on, everything I turn my phone, first 2 things, it's anti-trans, it's anti-immigration, it all comes up, and they're stirring it up, dividing it. And I think the punk will be, I'm hoping, people returning to this, to 3D. It's hard because I love my phone. I ain't gonna fucking lie. I'm not some fucking Gandhi with it. But I think what you're saying is the moment. Mindfulness, as much as I take the piss out of it, is just experiencing this. Together, me and you just go, look at it.
Yeah, I want them to rediscover the pen and paper, mate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want them to write again and things like that, and like, I love me writing, I love me poetry, I love to, all of that stuff, you know, I love that. I just, like you say.
You still write?
Yeah, write all the while, mate, I've done it. Yeah, I'm not academic, but, you know, creative expression was always drilled with me mum and stuff, and my gypsy heritage and stuff like that. So academia never did me any favours, but the whole creative expression. So I've wrote poetry in cards I've sent them since I was 10, and I just like the rhythm of it. It gives me a, you know, and I know you do, I know you like the poems and the writing and stuff. So the writing is massive for me. I love it. It's an escapism. It's a beautiful thing, and
but don't you think, you remind me, you know, it's like Billy Scurry.
Yeah.
Some of the most interesting Eddie. Are people who've come from the working class and
absolutely.
Not gone on about it, but pulled themselves up by the straps of their own boots and got on with it. And you don't need to be academic to be a writer.
No. Academic, look, it has its wonderful benefits, of course it does, if you choose that path, and it's, you know, it's brought some beautiful writers and all of that stuff, but at the same time, like doing my kids' book based on my 2 kids when I separated myself, was the most beautiful thing. I got it out so my mum could see it before she passed, and so my kids have always got, even if I only sold one, mate, it wasn't about selling any. It's the fact that my kids can read this book based on them to their kids, you know what I mean? And that kids, and it's something now that's there and cemented in our family lineage, you know what I mean? It's like, it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done was that kid's book, mate. It's beautiful.
It's interesting you say that because I feel like
and you've done a book, mate, because
yeah,
you're writing and stuff. I imagine that's something.
I am, but
I'll be surprised if you. I think it would be something you should pursue, mate, because I think it'd be an interesting slant on things, you know, to do it like so.
If I do it, then I'll tell you what it won't be. It's not going to be autobiographical.
No, I get that.
In the sense that, obviously, I love attention. I like Instagram and all that. But it would be it's just telling stories of things I've seen through my eyes rather than this is my chronological. I don't need to piss on the tree and leave my scent for the next person.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. But I still think a book could be
definitely. I'm writing
informative and inspirational for you as much as for anyone else. You know, it's a self-cleanse. It's a beautiful path, mate, to take in regards of a. You know, you could reward it and gift it to Amy or whatever. You know, there's things that it's a nurturing process. Not that you need that, but it's like a beautiful. And I know the writing's there with you, you know, I've seen that in the, you know, and obviously your love of the word and that, you know, and it's like, there's a book in us, you know, when you, it's lovely, mate, you know.
I mean, isn't it funny, you know, I can't remember who it was, talking about creativity, that when you do it for yourself, not in an ego way, but it's not about people pleasing. It's for you, but not like you're a megalomania, but it's for what you love. Yeah. That's when true art happens. So if you look at Bowie, for instance, I'm not comparing us to Bowie, by the way, but you get my point. He never was a people pleaser. When Low happened, fusing fucking black R&B into electronica,
mate.
It was that he never listened to his own music. He was doing it because that was him and his creativity and yet. Again, it's that thing again. Counterintuitively, when you please yourself and then it somehow connects with other people, that's true art. That's when the fucking magic happens.
Exactly,
and the greatest. I mean, one of the greatest. My two favourite. I'm not really widely read. I watch a lot of YouTube. But my two writers who are so different. Nick Cave, I just think, is one of the most remarkable writers, particularly recently about religion and grief. And losing his son, his way of describing stuff is just another level of genius. Yeah. And then the other one who's a bit of a cunt actually, A.A. Gill, who was the food writer.
Mate,
he gets kind of rightly and wrongly put into this camp of being a bit of a cunt, posh kid. Yeah. But actually, when is it Further Away, or one of his books, it's a series of little stories. And his description of London or travelling, in some ways, is the most humanist, beautiful eulogy, whatever the word is, the coming together. And so anyway, my point is this: that I think I'm not an academic writer. You're not, but if it's from the fucking soul and you do it, that's the thing. Not to people please. Yeah. If it does connect, then it's very pure.
I like this. Man, that's the boycott in family as well, lovely.
See, that's what I mean, you know, you say like, I used to hate that, and now it makes me feel happy.
Yeah, lovely, absolutely.